Two people, same city, same neighborhood, roughly the same income, one of them always seems to have money. They are not stressed about the end of the month. They are not counting days until payday. They have options. The other person, same salary, same rent, feels completely broke. Every month feels tight. Every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. And the scary part is neither of them can fully explain why things turned out this way. It is not luck. It is not some secret investment strategy. The difference almost always comes down to one thing: how much of their income is being silently drained by the maintenance cost of the life they built around themselves. Today, we're going to talk about the minimalist money rules that separate those two people. These are not about cutting everything out of your life. They are not about suffering through some extreme budget. They are practical, simple rules that when you actually apply them, you stop leaking money without even realizing it. And the result is you just always have money, not because you earned more, but because less of it disappears. Let's get into it. Rule number one, the real cost of ownership is never the price tag. This is the rule most people never learn, and it costs them thousands of dollars over their lifetime. When you look at the price of something, that number on the tag is just the entry fee. The actual cost is everything that comes after it. The phone you bought for $800 needs a case, a screen protector, insurance, and eventually a repair. The car you bought needs insurance, registration, fuel, maintenance, and parking. The house you bought needs property tax, insurance, repairs, and utilities. The gym membership you signed up for needs the right shoes, the right clothes, and eventually the motivation to keep going. Every purchase opens a tab, and that tab runs for as long as you own the thing. The minimalist money rule here is simple. Before you buy anything significant, write down every cost you will pay after the purchase, not just the price. Everything connected to it. Most people skip this step because it is inconvenient, but the people who always have money do this automatically. They see the real number and then they decide. Sometimes they still buy it, but they do not get surprised 2 months later when the full cost reveals itself. Rule number two, calculate cost per use before you commit. Take the price of whatever you're about to buy and divide it by the number of times you realistically expect to use it. A $200 jacket you wear 150 times over 3 years costs you $133 per use. That is a solid purchase. A $150 kitchen gadget you use twice costs you $75 per use. That is a terrible purchase even though the number looks smaller. This one calculation changes how you see almost everything you own, and it reveals a pattern that most people do not want to admit. A huge portion of what we buy gets used once or twice and then sits there taking up space, taking up money. The rule is this: if you cannot picture yourself using it at least once every 2 weeks, be honest with yourself before you buy it. The cost per use is going to be brutal, and the purchase is going to feel like a mistake within a month. Rule number three, the replacement test. This is one of the most powerful and underrated filters you can run on your own spending before you buy something new. Ask yourself this: if I already own this and it broke today, would I replace it right away? If the answer is yes, it is probably genuinely useful to you. If the answer is I would wait a while, or I'm not sure, or actually maybe not, that tells you something important. It tells you the item is not doing as much for your life as you think it is. The people who always have money run this test regularly, not just before buying, but on things they already own. They look around and ask honestly, if this disappeared tomorrow, would I go replace it? The things they would not replace are the things they consider getting rid of, because owning things costs money, storage costs money, maintenance costs money, and clutter creates a kind of mental overhead that makes spending decisions worse over time. Rule number four, the 48-hour rule for everything non-essential. Here's how most impulse purchases happen. You see something you wanted immediately. You buy it, you get home, the feeling fades. 3 weeks later, you barely remember why you wanted it. The 48-hour rule breaks that cycle. Before you buy anything that is not food, a bill, or an emergency, you wait 48 hours, that is it. Just wait. You do not need to talk yourself out of it. You do not need a complicated system. You just wait. What happens in those 48 hours is the emotional spike fades, the urgency disappears, and you look at it again with clear eyes. A significant portion of things you wanted urgently will stop feeling necessary after 2 days. Not all of them. Some things you will still want, and that is fine. Buy them. But the ones that fade? Those are the ones that were never going to make your life better. They were just going to make a company richer. Rule number five, lifestyle creep will quietly bankrupt you. Lifestyle creep is the most dangerous financial pattern most people never identify in themselves. Here's how it works. You get a raise. You're earning more now, so you upgrade better apartment, better phone, better car, better restaurants, better everything. The raise feels like it evaporated immediately because your expenses expanded to absorb every dollar of it. And then you get another raise, and it happens again. You're earning more than you ever have, and you still feel broke. The trap is that each individual upgrade feels totally reasonable at the time. You earn more, so spending a bit more feels justified, but the sum of all those small upgrades is a lifestyle that costs nearly everything you make regardless of what you make. The minimalist money rule here is that when your income goes up, your savings rate should go up first, not your lifestyle. If you were saving 10% before the raise should push you to 15 or 20%. If your lifestyle has to upgrade it by less than half of what your income increased by. Protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your financial power. every lifestyle. Upgrade narrows it. Rule number 6, define your enough number. Most people are chasing a feeling. They want to feel financially comfortable. They want to feel like they have enough. But comfortable is not a number, and enough is not a destination, so the chase never ends. No matter how much more they earn, the bar moves. This is not a money problem. It is a definition problem. The rule is to sit down and actually define what enough looks like for you. How much does it cost per month to live the life you genuinely want? Not an Instagram version of your life, not what you would buy if you won a lottery, your actual life that makes you feel good, covered, and free. Write that number down. Now, work toward it deliberately. When your income covers that number plus savings, you stop automatically spending more just because you have more. You have defined the finish line. Most people never do this, and so they spend their whole life running without knowing where they are going. Rule number 7, build spending friction into your life. The easier it is to spend money, the more of it you will spend. This is not a discipline problem, it is a system problem. Our environment is engineered to make spending effortless. One-click checkout, save card details, same-day delivery. Every friction point between you and a purchase has been deliberately removed because every friction point is a chance for you to change your mind. So you add friction back in yourself. Remove your card details from websites you shop on impulsively. Delete shopping apps from your front screen. Keep your savings in a separate account at a different bank, one that takes 2 or 3 days to transfer money from. Make your investments automatic and hard to touch. Make spending something you have to actively work for rather than something that happens by accident. The people who always have money are not more disciplined than you. They have systems that make the default option, the financially smart one. Rule number 8, one in, one out. Every time something new comes into your home, something has to leave. New shoes come in, old shoes go out. New kitchen item comes in, an old one goes out. New piece of clothing comes in, something else gets donated or sold. This rule does 2 things. First, it slows down accumulation because now every purchase comes with a task attached to it. Second, it forces you to ask honestly whether the new thing is actually better than the old thing or whether you're just bored and looking for novelty. Accumulation is a financial leak. Every item you own is a small ongoing cost in storage space, energy, maintenance, or mental load. The more you own, the more you manage. The one in, one out rule keeps that load from growing and makes you more deliberate about what earns a place in your life. Rule number 9, stop buying status. Nobody is as impressed as you think. This one is uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. A large portion of what people buy is not for themselves. It is for what other people will think. The newer car, the branded clothing, the expensive watch, the upgraded apartment in the nicer area. If you remove the audience from your financial decisions, a lot of those purchases would not happen. Here's the honest truth. The people you're buying status for are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. They are thinking about themselves, about their own status, about what other people think of them. You're spending real money to influence a perception that barely registers for the people you're trying to impress. Meanwhile, the people who are genuinely wealthy are often driving ordinary cars and wearing unremarkable clothes because they stopped needing external proof a long time ago. Status is expensive, confidence is free. Rule number 10, choose financial optionality over consumption. This is the rule that ties everything together. Every purchase is a choice between 2 things. You can spend that money on something now, or you can keep it in a form that gives you options later. Financial optionality means having the freedom to make choices to leave a job that is not working, to say no to an opportunity that feels wrong, to cover an emergency without going into panic mode. To take a calculated risk on something that could change your life. Consumption gives you a feeling. Optionality gives you freedom. The minimalist money mindset is not about having less, it is about valuing freedom more than stuff. When you start making decisions through that lens, everything changes. You stop buying things automatically. You start asking whether this purchase is taking you closer to freedom or further from it. And over time, the answer to that question shapes a completely different financial reality than the one most people end up in. Here's the thing, nobody tells you, building this kind of financial stability is not dramatic. It does not happen from one big decision. It happens from 1,000 small ones made consistently over time. One rule applied this week, one habit built this month, one decision made deliberately instead of automatically. That is how you become the person who always has money, not through some secret income strategy. Through how you manage what you already have. If this gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want more honest, practical content about building real financial stability, subscribe. We put out new videos every week, and the next one might be the one that actually changes how you think about money.